Kartrider drift is dead completely. Why did this happen? To oversimplify the reason, it would be dead because Kartrider Drift is a bad game. Now, I'm not saying the gameplay itself is bad, but everything else about it is bad. Remember back in the very early days where the developers stated that Kartrider Drift will not be a pay-to-win game? Well, that was never the case anymore. Which to a certain extent it is understandable where as a game company you want to generate some revenue. But now you got good old fashioned loot boxes or gacha or whatever you wish to call it. Now loot boxes are everywhere now in the modern online games. Saying that the system ruins the game isn't really that viable, but don't be surprised when the player base goes down because the game used to be a free-to-play friendly game. There is also a huge renovation to the whole environment of the game. And what I mean by that is the new generation A2 card has completely obliterated the old cards. Remember the Blackpink collab meta card? It is useless now. Well, by now I mean now. Forget about drifting in the perfect angle and start smashing your keyboard. Because that is what the new A2 cards are like. Each of the A2 cards are equipped with an instant boost enhancement. As you can tell by the name, your instant boost gets enhanced. The amount of enhancement is completely out of hand though, with how much faster the instant boost got. It has completely changed the meta that us the global players used to remember, and even the casual games as well, because of how powerful the instant boost is. Is it a fun system though? Yes. But it is just sad to see that the old cards became completely useless. There's also a huge change in the item mode. The characters no longer have their unique skills on them, but rather the skills are shifted onto the cards. And A2 cards allow certain characters to have a certain additional effect, which this does go with the speed mode as well. But there's just something off about the system that makes the whole combos feel like a hassle. I personally really like the character unique skills, and putting that on the cards just felt bizarre. It's like all the skills are all over the place. Also, it just takes off the charm of the character unique skills. It feels like it's your card doing the skills, not your character doing it. Aside from the actual gameplay, there is also the issue of merging Korean and Taiwanese servers together. The Koreans don't want to play with the Taiwanese, and the Taiwanese don't want to play with the Koreans. There would always be a language barrier between the two countries, as well as the server connecting issues. It is unknown how the servers run and where they're running from, where they're located, but there are speculations that there are only servers in Korea, but not in Taiwan, which results to a ping and lag for the players when they're not playing from the same country. This was also an issue back when the global servers were alive. It just wasn't as clear. There's no universal language in the servers, and you could often see some different languages that's flowing around the game, whether that's Spanish, it's Korean, sometimes you see some Chinese as well. I would think that Koreans would like to see Koreans on their games that they play, and that goes for Taiwanese as well. I believe they want to see more Mandarin rather than any other languages that they don't understand or they may not understand because why would they understand? These are just some points that I felt were significant to the downfall of the game and the lack of players. New loot box pay to win system, the new generation 8 cards that has trashed all the previous cards, the merging of servers between the two countries. In my own theory, I believe these changes and updates are an attempt to get more players into the game, in exchange with sacrificing some of the existing players. And to be fair, I think they were on the right track. From what I could observe on the game, it has certainly improved after the global server shut down. They implemented a new room matching system. They also added new game modes that looks genuinely fun. And they were implementing a new physics system and various little things that I didn't mention. Everything looks like they are finally building a solid foundation of the game. Like, heck, even a League of legend player, Faker, got into the game. It was probably one of the, if not the best, free advertising that Nixon would ever get for this game. Everything looked like it was going to Kartrider's favor, but yet somehow they decided to shut the game down. However, Nixon is making a Kartrider classic in the future, and we can wait to see what it is. Would this be a good decision? Most likely, yes. As a regular player, we'll probably never know the numbers behind the scenes. The game has been on a decline for a very long time, and the changes may not have been as effective as they wanted to be. The same thing happened when Kartrider Drift first came out, where they shut down the original Kartrider. The key difference, however, was that the original Kartrider was the game that many loved. Despite the popularity, Nixon still decided to shut down the original Kartrider. While many OG players complain about shutting down the OG game, it is just where reality really kicks in. When there are not enough players in the game and the game is not generating enough revenue, shutting down the game may just be the best interest for the company. Also, there is the problem with how old the game was. You know, all the graphics and the codings and how the game is structured is just beyond outdated. Many players remember it, but they're not really playing the game anymore, so sometimes it's just reality. You can't keep the servers running anymore. Again, we will never know the numbers behind the scenes, and I do not know about the environment of the OG Kartrider at the time of shutting down. I may just be completely wrong here though. Everything being said, I would say that shutting down the OG game has certainly backfired on Nixon because, well, Kartrider Drift was a complete disaster when it first came out. Everything is incomplete. It feels like a half-made game. There's missing pieces everywhere. And at the time, Nixon couldn't fall back onto the OG game anymore because they shut it down. And OG players, like the players that still played the game, were really frustrated about it and just completely give up on Kartrider Drift. If Kartrider Drift wasn't that big of a disaster, and if it was the actual complete game, maybe the frustration wouldn't be as much. But the game was really unfinished, and people just don't want to play it. And you can say that it was still bad till the day that it shut down, but there were a lot of obvious things that they could have changed, they could have improved. I think everything that was updated after the global server shutdown should have happened back when the global servers were alive. All in all, we'll wait and see the Kartrider Classic, and hopefully it wouldn't go on the same path as Kartrider Drift. There might be a chance that Kartrider will be back for the global players, and I'm genuinely excited for it, although I don't have the high hopes on that, but it is still possible. In the meantime of all these, the OG Kartrider from the CN server is doing better than ever, and I highly recommend people who are still interested in Kartrider to watch some of the tournaments that they have held. You can go back and watch some of them, even if you don't know the players. Many of the previous professional Korean players are playing in it, as well as the Taiwanese legend, Neo. They're all competing in the CN server right now, and it's very exciting to watch. Although all the commentaries are in Mandarin, you don't really need to know what the commentaries are talking about. All you need to know is what's happening on the screen. It's one of the coolest things and most exciting things to watch. But anyways, that's about it from me. Thank you. Bye bye.